Good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. This is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat. You hang out with me in here with the dogs and follow me on my sewing journey. And I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. Good morning, everybody in the chat. I hope you guys had a great weekend. It is Monday, MLK Day. It's a chilly one for those going downtown to San Antonio has a huge MLK march. And it seems like every, I don't know, maybe 10 years they'll have a warm day, but the weather is just beautiful. So fortunately, it's not all horrible down there for all those people. Yeah, good to see everybody. Oh my goodness. Let's say hi to the dogs and then get them out of the room. We've got a couple of little cuties right here. They're a little close. Oh, she sees the bucket. Miss Dottie sees the bucket. What are you doing? Hi. Yeah, good morning. Y'all, I got so much stitching done this weekend. Oh, my goodness. Well, Dave Biscuit, there you go. There you go. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I think the march in San Antonio is one of the largest in the country. There, good girl. All right, so let me get another stick here. Oh, you know what? I don't have my my microphone on. Let me get that. She is getting big. Yeah, Dottie, Karen, she's 20. Last time we took her to the vet for her spay, she was 20 some pounds, something like that. All right, here we go. Good morning, everybody. You're shivering in Florida. What's that about? Okay, let's go. Come on. Let's go. Yeah. You want your stick, Dottie? You're a good girl. Yes, you are. There you go. And Miss Frito. Okay. Go brush your teeth. I got a new connecting threads catalog in. I love these. Something you can just stare at, see what's out there. I absolutely love that. Hold on, y'all. Turn it. Hi, Nancy. From Shirts, neighbor. Okay, so lots of stitching got done this weekend, and I'm going to show you guys that in a little bit. I want to go ahead and get the Prim. Dave and YJ wants to know if the pattern for the America 250 quilt along is from a book. Yes, made by Margie. We are going to go over that. Absolutely. And I have links below. I have a whole section. It's a quilt along sponsored by the Fat Quarter Shop. It runs an entire year. So you don't have to feel rushed, you know, to get it done by the 4th of July. Don't feel like you have to do that. So, hi, Deborah. How you doing, my friend? I got an email from the RV park there in El Campo. They're like, are you guys coming back? Bonnie's calendar doesn't support it right now. So not in September anyway. All right. So we're talking about doing that. We are talking about it. Okay. I want to go ahead and get this started on the Prim. And Prim, if you're brand new, hi, welcome. Well, Debbie, thank you so much for your super sticker. That is so thoughtful. I appreciate that. It's very generous of you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. That's very thoughtful. So my neighbor next door, who's just beginning her embroidery journey, she called me yesterday and she said, I've got a question. She said, I've got this Designs by Juju. I bought it all, you know, and she downloaded it and extracted it and all that. Now she's got all these files. Well, she just put the whole 9 yards onto a USB stick to take it to her machine. Now her machine is like my littler one back here. This is the NQ3700D. She has the 3550W, which is exactly the one I got for my granddaughter. And you can tell it's got a pretty small screen. See how small that is, right? Okay, this is a tip for you brand new embroiderers, okay, for those of you that are just getting into this. So if you have a screen like the Luminaire over here, that big dog, that's a different thing. But for those of you that are on screens that are a little bit smaller, she was unable to know which design to use off of the USB even so much as she couldn't even tell what the picture was, because the picture showing ability on these tiny screens are kind of pitiful, right? So unlike the Luminaire that has these beautiful images. So what I told her to do is only take the size that you want to make, leave the original alone, don't do anything to that, right? Copy the files you want onto your USB. So she was making the 8x12. And then on the USB, after they're all over there, so when a design file first comes onto the USB, it might say DBJJ underscore 357 dash blah, whatever the title is. Well, the problem with these little bitty screens is all you see on all of them is DBJJ underscore 357 dash blah, 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 right? All in the first little bit. And that makes it kind of hard because then you need to rely on the picture and they're so blobby, it's hard to tell. I know the struggle's real, y'all. I get it. Okay. But what you do is on the USB, after you've put your designs on there, then you go in and you just title it what the block is. Just right click on it and rename, or use whatever button you need to, depending on your computer, and rename that particular title. Now I'll show you how that looks. I did that on the USB here. Okay. So we're making the shaker boxes today, but I want to show you what that looks like. I'm going to get you in real close here. No, nobody's machine will read zip files. Yeah. Nobody's machine reads zip files. You have to unzip the file. Otherwise it won't work. So look here on the Prim. These all had the first of them started RBD, which is Riley Blake Designs, underscore something, something code and a title. Okay. So what I did is I just went in and removed all of that junk and I just titled it Angel, Basket, Cat, Church, Farmer, and etc. Okay. So she was worried that if she renamed the file, it would mess up the embroidery design. I'm here to tell you that does not happen. It's perfectly fine to do that. So don't worry about that. Plus, you'll always have the original on your computer, right? Or if you mess that up, you can always download it again. But some people that are brand new, they're just like, I don't know. Is it okay? Absolutely rename your files on your USB. You can rename them on your computer too, but it's just handy. I don't even have the file size on here on these names because these are the ones that I'm making. So, and I'm making the 6x10. But anyway, so that's a little tip for those of you that are brand new to machine embroidery. Okay. So if you're new here, let us know in the chat or come into the replay. If you're part of the replay crew, pop in, say hi, give me a thumbs up. And we have a welcoming committee. Quilt Wench is in charge of our Sunshine group. So everybody will make you feel welcome. This is a great spot to come if you are brand new to embroidery. The comments move by really, really fast in the chat, but we have a lot of knowledgeable people here who are very supportive and can help you out. If you have a question for one particular person, if you take the @ symbol, okay, which is up above the 2, the ampersand, right? Yes. And then begin typing their name, you'll get some choices pop up on your end, okay? And you can choose that person's name and then write whatever you want. And it pops up on theirs as, depending on the device that they're on a different, in a different color to let them see, hey, somebody's trying to get your attention. Scotty Dog runs our virtual kitchen. Do I have a video of what? I just saw it. Do I have a video of how to organize embroidery files on a computer? Yes, Connie, I sure do. Okay. Yeah, you can go Power Tools with Thread in the YouTube search and organize embroidery. It'll come up. Okay. Scotty Dog, I want to thank you. She sent me a gift, you guys. I was lamenting last week about mixing colors and all that and figuring out colors. And so she sent me this. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate it. Now I have a question. I read it and I understand it. Okay. I'm glad because this on the back, it tells you how to do this. And I appreciate that. So I got another one as well, a littler one. Did you send me two or did another person take pity on me? So I have one for home and one for the motorhome when I travel. So thank you so much. This is going in my travel. Whoever did that. So, okay. Let me go ahead and get started on these shaker boxes. So I've got my fabric all ready to go back here. Okay. I have hooped my 8x8 magnetic and I have tearaway in there just as the pattern wants you to. I've already pulled my threads. I'm ready to go, y'all. Ready to go. So I am going to put I'm going to run a basting box twice as a placement line for me, just so I can make sure I get it right. Okay. Let's see. Can I do a tech day? I can. I have in the past, but yeah, I sure can. Okay. And so I went through the instructions on my iPad and went through and got the fabric is A and KK, and then the threads the number of the thread. And then I used on the blog, powertoolswiththread.com, I used the color, what's that called where you go from one to the other? Anyway, so in my glide, these are the colors, okay, of what I got here. Let me move this dog thing. I got so much to show you that I did this weekend. Oh my gosh, busy, busy, busy. All right. Now, usually, I don't know if it'll give me a problem on the thing or not. First time catching me live? Oh, good. I'm glad you're here. RS bead. Oh, you're a beader. Awesome. So let's pull this up. I'm going to bring in the shaker boxes right there and set. They're sideways. I want them the other way. Let me see. Edit, rotate 90. So it's straight. There we go. It's 6.5 squares, so it won't matter. All right. There is no glide thread on sale right now. Patches. It was OESD has some colors left of I think it's Exquisite or Isocord. I can't remember. One or the other. No glide on sale right now. Okay. So the very first color that's going to be seen is this clover. So I'm going to put this in first. So whenever you're doing, oh, you know what? I bought a new pair of scissors and don't you know I put it in the wrong bowl. I got new scissors come in. I ordered another pair of these short curved scissors. These are Gingers. And another pair of curved, the 6-inch embroidery scissors. I ordered another pair of those so that I don't have to haul them back and forth between the machines. Because you know, that's annoying, right? So, I mean, I've been at this for a very long time, you guys. So I, over years, have collected. If you do a tech day, please start with download, thumbnail, and how to view things through unzipping and repeating. Yeah. Okay. I know that that is hard for a lot of you. I know that. And it depends on the device that you're on. That's part of the problem. If you're on an Apple device, much, much easier. Oh my goodness. All right. So I need to do, this is 6.5 square. Okay. My fabric is 8x8. So I want to do at least a 7-inch basting stitch. The closer to the embroidery, the better, so that it holds everything still. So basting stitch on this machine. I did it on the 10 needle. Let me hit embroidery. And then where is it here? Layout? There it is, right there. Okay. On the luminaire. You have to touch layout once you're in the embroidery mode. And it's the little picture with the stitch all around it. Okay, now it just went right outside of it. Can I change the size of that? I don't know that I can change the size of that, right? It's early, you guys. Okay. See, if I go into rotate or move, yeah, I can't change the size of this. I thought you could. I know you could on the 10 needle because I did it. I made it bigger. Move. Nope. Any of y'all know how to do this? You might have to do it as an ad, right? Let me return. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Totally. Oh, I see. I'm back now. So now I've added the basting stitch. Let me get you in. You see the buttons. Okay, now that I've added the basting stitch, now, and it's selected. See that? Now I can choose. And you can tell down here, select. You got right and left arrows. There, that's the design itself. That's the basting stitch. So I'm going to go to size. We're at 5.90, 5.88. That's too small. That'll show up. Yeah. So I'm going to make it bigger all the way around. I'm just going to keep tapping it until it is past, until one of those numbers is up towards 7. 6.95, 6.07 by 7.06. That works. Tell it okay. Perfect. Embroidery. I like it. Okay, we're ready to go. I learned something new. How about that? I knew I could do it. It's just a matter of fiddling with it. All right. So let's see if it's going to pull up the base. When it does a base, sometimes it won't pull it up on that no-show mesh. Oh, yeah, we're good. Now, this is a tearaway. If I begin to see any kind of puckering at all, I will take another scrap of tearaway and I will tape it to the underside of the hoop to give it the stability that it needs. Okay, perfect. So that is like a placement line, essentially. So now I'm going to be able to make sure that this is placed properly. I want to make sure I have the same amount top and bottom. Okay. And the same amount side to side. All right, that works. You just kind of lift from here and make sure from this line to this line you have the same amount. And then the vertical from this side to this side, and make sure you have about the same amount. And that works. And it's straight in the hoop. Okay, so now I'm going to use my needle plus minus, and I'm going to go back a stitch, and now I'm going to baste this down. So that's a quick, easy way to do a placement line. Okay. You use dime, medium, soft tearaway. Good. No puckers. Excellent. Yeah, this is Designs by Juju's Tear Easy, or Easy Tear. I always forget. One or the other. It's from Designs by Juju Plus, and I have a link to it below. Okay, good. Awesome. I wanted to get going. This is it says 32 minutes, but you know it's always a lot longer than that. Okay, I have to dig out fabric A. This is the kit from Two Chicks Quilting. Let me see here. That's my placement line. Fabric A. So I'm going to take this sticker and put it up here in the corner so I know that it stays on there. And then I'm just going to place it and make sure everything's covered right like that. And do that down here. Okay, there's the tack down now. Pretty easy. My hair looks great this morning. Thank you. I went back to my old blow dryer. I bought one of those ionic blow dryers or whatever. My hairdresser uses it, and my ends with that thing feel like straw. And I had bought one, and so I went back to my old blow dryer, and it just helped so much, the old-fashioned kind. Okay. If you're going to do any lap work, you made the pecan treats the other day. You thought of me. Aw, thank you. Okay. You always want to work on a firm, flat surface, never leaning up against the table here, okay? Because you can lose registration very easily by pressing down too hard on it, and then it will get droopy in the middle. Even if you don't really see it, it can happen. Oh my gosh, I got so much done this weekend. I can't wait to show you guys all the stuff. And as Margie mentioned, Fat Quarter Shop asked me to do the America 250 quilt along with them, and I'm really excited about doing that. And I got my fabrics in yesterday. Oh, beautiful, beautiful stuff. So see, I still have my sticker, and I've got plenty left here. So there, that's a scrap. Okay, pop that in there. And now it is fabric KK. So the way this is digitized is it does all the applique first, and then it will do all of the final stitching. And normally I will do this on the multi-needle, but I felt like sitting down with you guys today. Let's see. F, F, G, H. There's I. There's J. K. There it is. Little pineapple. That one's cute. Okay. Yeah, we can do a tech day, y'all, for sure. It's been a while since I've done one, so no problem. All right. I'm going to move this up a little because I got a big fold that I don't want to deal with. Okay. This is going to be straight up and down. Man, Nicole did good choosing these fabrics. The original fabrics for this quilt are far and few between if you can find them. Let me put AA back where it goes. How do you find my previous tech? Whoop. You notice I did not change my thread color. It doesn't matter because there's going to be final stitching on that. Oh gosh, I don't know. I think you can, I know you can search power tools with thread like Tech Talk. I've got one or two like that we have gone into. Even if it didn't start out as a tech and it did, I would have gone in and changed the title so that you guys can find things. I know that, I don't want tech to be a hindrance for those of you that are just getting into embroidery, or maybe, you want to get into embroidery, but you've got to do some tech things. I got dog fur. All right, what's next? Here is the clover stitch itself. Oh, let me show you. That turned out cute. Look how cute that is. And I use my selvages in embroidery. Why not, right? Okay, so now it's going to stitch that green around the top. Oh, that's driving me crazy, y'all. Is it on my shirt? Tickling my nose? What's it doing? Okay, this is going to be a 6-minute stitch here. So on Friday, we had an extra live stream at 10 a.m. Central, and I showed how to finish the Celtic table topper. And here it is, you guys. Here's the finished result. Turned out just lovely. I'm very, very happy with it. I put a navy backing on it, and that big lump, that's where it all comes together. And we did some hammer time, and I used a rubber mallet to pound it down. It would have been even worse. But when it's on the table, you can't see that. It's nice and flat on the table. So it turned out great, and I closed it with stitch witchery. So it's permanent. I have no desire to open it up or anything, and it'll never be washed. So got that done. Yeah, the hammer did a great job, didn't it? I'm very pleased with it. Turned out lovely. Okay. I also finished up the February monthly mini quilt. Here is the January one right there. It's got my needle, my thread stand in front of it, but there's January. Okay. Hot Quilter says, I've made it a priority to learn the computer process. I had to do that with my Mac because I was a Windows girl for 100 years. So I'm doing all of my stuff on a Mac now for the most part. And I might even get away from my desktop. I don't know. So anyway, here is the February quilt. I think one of you were right when you said a little bit darker on the flower pot, but it is what it is. It's done and I'm not changing it. Where did I get the hanger for January? Linda, it is part of the bonus bundle. If you spend $30, it's in the bonus bundle that you get. So I have links to it below in the description box. So I was good with all of this. And when I got to this one, I was just struggling with it because it's all different colors, right? And I didn't have this yet. So it turned out nice. I like it. It's pretty. It works. I'm thrilled. It'll look good. I need to put the backing on it. Again, an envelope back so that I can put the magnets up in there and just swap those out. So the magnets that are inside of January, I'm just going to pull them out because it's an envelope back and it's not sealed. Okay. So I'll put magnets in the corners and just let them hang there, and then magnets on the top and slap it up on the wall. Yep. So for March, the March one, I am not a fan of that leprechaun. And I wanted to show you guys, I think what I'm going to do. Oh, do you mean the metal thing? That's an Ackfeld wire. And I got that from ackfeldwire.com. They don't have an affiliate thing, so I don't have a link to it, but it's Ackfeld, A-C-K-F-E-L-D or A-K-F-E-L-D. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Bernadette. Yes, thumbs up. What did I just hold up? That was the February mini quilt for the Designs by Juju mini quilt of the month. Ackfeld wire. Debbie got it. Yep. Okay. So for March, here's what I'm going to try. This is what I'm going to try to do. I use Embroidery Essentials, and you can merge designs and change designs around, pre-existing designs in Brilliance. So my plan, let's see if it works. Okay. They're helpful when purchasing fabric too. Okay. Thank you. All right. So my plan, let me share my screen with you guys. I'm going to see if I can get these designs from Designs by Juju to work on their sketch designs. Okay, if I can get these to work on the March mini quilt. So I'm going to take the quilt pieces. I'm going to keep the word March, right, with the coordinating fabric and whatever else I like on there. But I'm going to try to manipulate it so I can get these designs on. Isn't he precious? I'm going to try to get these designs on instead of the leprechaun. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I'm going to play with it. I put a link to those below for Juju if you wanted to see. Patches says, we know you'll get it to work. I'm gonna give it a try. Okay. All right. So we were talking about the America 250 quilt along, sponsored by the Fat Quarter Shop. I have a section below in the description box. It's more ... and tap that, and it says, oh, Shay Shay's leprechaun is cute. It turned out good. Those are just embroidery. They're not applique. I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to do it in Brilliance. If it doesn't work, I'll just do it the way the original pattern says. But I just want the pattern pieces, right? And I'd probably have to do some different background quilting. So I can use a Designs by Juju backdrop, quilting backdrop, and plop it in there instead of the background quilting. Anyway, we were talking about America 250. I got my fabric in for that. And let me show you what the pattern is from. There's a picture of it in the thumbnail on today's video. Where are we at? Next is Desert Sunset. Color 20. Okay. See, from here on out, it's just changing threads. So simple. Trying to, let's see, trying to figure out a video demo where the lady changed the first step in a design to a scan and cut scissor icon on Avenir. Confused, but you have the Stellaire. So it works exactly the same, Sophie's, as on Avenir, Stellaire, the Luminaire. You go into and change, you go find the Brother Embroidery thread palette on the screen. Look for the Brother Embroidery thread palette, and you got to scroll down, and at the bottom there's a scissor, and that's where you tell them, the machine, this is a applique placement line or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, those designs are cute. I hope I can get it to, what do we got here? I'm hung up. Hold on. You know, we'll just give it a shot. That's the beauty of machine embroidery. Sometimes you're able to customize stuff to be the way you want it. Okay. All right. Okay, let me do this. Change these threads. Oh, I could have put them all on the thread stand. That's a whole lot of getting up, getting down. Let me pull this through. Okay. So I just have them on a, my threads are on a tray from Laser Bee Studios. How long is this? This is a 4-minute stitch. So I don't have a link to these. This is a mom and pop called Laser Bee Studios. Okay. And I have, it says Prim up in the top right there. So, and I have another one that says Sweetheart Street. And then I just put, so I wrote the thread number here, and then I used the color coordinator translator thing that's on my blog. Julie did that for us from Two Chicks Quilting. Whoops, it's upside down. Okay. So I wrote the numbers down on my paper from the pattern, and then I wrote the color down for glide next to it, and then I wrote those colors on here, and then I pulled my thread. All right. There we go. Oh, that's pretty. They do such pretty decorative stitches here. You're a new member. Thank you, @Map, for joining. I appreciate that. Okay. You might be MAP, but now you're @Map. How's that? All right, so let's talk about this America 250. So the pattern comes from a new book that's out called Celebrate with Quilts by Lissa Alexander and Susan Achi. And this was published by It's So Emma. So it's published by the Fat Quarter Shop. Okay. And it's absolutely lovely. I don't know if that's what's on the cover or not. It might be. That might be what's the block that we're making. I'm not sure. So in here, look at all the different quilt patterns that are in this book. Can you believe that? This thing is just chock full of quilt patterns. Oh my goodness. And they're seasonal, right? So the pattern comes from, it's on page 138. They have standard quilts, and then they have so these are just the blocks up here, and these are the sampler quilts that are in here. It's page 138. It's a Christmas quilt. It's called Peppermint Twist. That's right. Okay. Let me get this. There it is. That's this one. This is it here. So that's the quilt. And I'm going to publish a blog post today. Okay. There is a schedule. It starts in February. Okay. There's a schedule of what blocks to do and when. And I'm going to do one video extra a month after the Stitchuation room to put the blocks together. Okay. So I'll do one a month and you guys can follow along with me on that if you want to. So you can see if this is for beginner to intermediate quilters. Okay. And I'll take you through it. Now, there is a fabric requirement. There's a fabric requirement and schedule are all on the same PDF. I'll link to everything below. I think I put it below. I don't know. And then I'm doing mine. They're doing theirs in like a lighter blue and a orangey red. I'm a traditional girl, y'all. So I am doing mine in, this is American Gatherings 3 by Primitive Gatherings for Moda. This is what I'm doing. This is 37 fat quarters, and it's all lovely. Oh, it's beautiful, 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 beautiful. So in the description box below, I put a link to this, the book, and the extra fabric borders. I've got border and for the blocks, right? Background fabric and borders here. And then I have a little bit left still that's going to be sent. And I'm going to use a 108-inch backing, and it's on pre-order. So I clicked the thing that said notify me when available, and I put in my email. So they'll tell me about that. Okay. Where are we at? Next. Okay. Is Warm Gray 6. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to doing that. Let me see. I'll put that back in a second. I am doing a bunch of multi-needles designs. A lot of you have them, and there's not a lot of education from multi-needles out on the internet. I don't know why. You know, you would think, oh, let me see here. But you would think at least the dealers would put some out, right? Okay. These are the shaker boxes. Awesome. Thank you, Shay Shay. I got it cut last week. I got my hair cut last week, and I switched back to my old blow dryer. Yeah. Okay. That's why I live in Texas, y'all. I got big hair. I have big hair. I live in Texas. That way nobody makes fun of me. And then let's see. So how this is going to work, when I embroider my blocks and do not trim the batting, what steps in the machine am I skipping? Usually you're not skipping any steps in the machine. You're going to do all of the steps that you need to, okay? What you're not doing is trimming the batting before the following step, before the next step. You just leave it in there. Michelle, the bigger the hair, the closer to God. I love it. Yep, I love that. That's awesome, you guys. So the way this quilt is going to work, you guys, they're going to do a block a month, okay? And this thing tells you, let's see, 138. Let me get back to it. Let me get back to it, how this works. Okay. So where it says we need a 3-inch aircraft block, that's what she called it. You got to go to page 4 to get the pattern and make the 3-inch aircraft block. I guess is how that works. Let's see. Page 4. Aircraft block. Okay. So I won't be giving the pattern away. You're going to have to cut your own pieces. All right. I can't tell you if you don't buy the book. You have to buy the book if you don't have it. So But what I will do is I'm going to be using alpha biddies, okay? And I will have, let me see if it has them A, B, C, D'd, and they should, since the Fat Quarter Shop, yes. So the Fat Quarter Shop, because they published this, they made sure these pieces are A, B, C, D, and so on, okay? So I will be using, well, the alpha clippies and alpha biddies on my design board, and we'll go ahead and get that all cut and ready to go. And then I'll be sewing, take piece A and put piece B on it. And that way there's no measurements, but we can stitch together. Okay. So that's how that's going to go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think the biggest challenge to these large quilt alongs, and this quilt only finishes at 66.5. So the big challenge to these is to get stuff cut. Just, you know, I'm going to probably spend about 2 or 3 days cutting this quilt and getting it ready to go. And then they'll be stacked on my my Easy Stacks trays. Okay. And then when it's time for us to do it, it's just so much easier to just get that done when it's done like that. Okay. I don't know if the book is downloadable, Karen. It might be. I don't know. What's next? The next color is candy apple. Okay. I just love it. I put my threads right in a row. Perfect. And that way I don't have to, I had a boo-boo. Oh, y'all. Here's a tip for you multi-needle folks. When you change out your thread colors, if you only change some of them, right as soon as you get that new thread on the back of the machine, grab it in front of the needle and pull that thread all the way out, and I just drop it. You don't have to thread it right then because you're not done. You got to put more threads on. Just pull it all the way through the machine and just let it hang. I was doing something on the February deal, and I had 2 thread breaks, one after the other, and I was like, what's wrong? What's wrong with this machine? I had forgotten to pull the threads through. And on the 3rd time it happened, I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's the wrong color. And then it occurred to me, I was like, oh, I didn't pull the threads through after I put the spools on the back of the machine. So if you pull your threads through right after you put the spool on the back of the machine, then you can, you know, as now you've got all these tails hanging here in front of you, and then you can go through and put them in the needle. That happened to you this weekend? Good, Cheryl. I was in good company. Awesome. I love it. Yeah. I said, what is wrong with this thing? You know, that's odd because it never has it's just that the knot had come through and it couldn't get through the needle and it broke. And I was like, that's weird. Okay, warm brace thing. Back you go. Here's the next one. So I need a sip of coffee, y'all. Bonnie J, you can do this quilt. This is a great quilt for beginners because it's a sampler. And samplers are wonderful because they're going to expose you to a whole bunch of different techniques to sew blocks together. And that's going to be a confidence builder for you. So I'm going to pick 1 day a month. I'll do, a lot of them say make 2 of the same block. Barbara, you put more coffee on? Thank you. I appreciate that. Barbara's in charge of coffee in the kitchen. Awesome. Show the front of the book. You're making okay, where did I see that? Just bought the book. Oh, you're jumping in. Good, Bonnie. Y'all, I have a link to the book below. If you'd use my links, I appreciate it. That helps to keep the channel going for sure. It is called Celebrate with Quilts by Lissa Alexander and Susan Achi. Beautiful, beautiful book. So this is not a ginormous quilt either. Like I said, it finishes at 66.5 square. Okay. And we're going to take it slow. Let me see if they have the layout. I'm pretty sure they do. Piece and quilt sampler, perspective. There it is. They've got, let me see if they have a layout. No, that's Peppermint Rose, wrong one. Is it Peppermint Rose or Peppermint Twist? It's Peppermint Rose, my bad. Okay. Here's the layout for it. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you for using my link. See that? We've got 4 big blocks. We have a bunch of medium blocks and some little bitty blocks. I love square quilts, Bernadette. They fit over my square dining room table. I love square quilts. So this is the layout, okay? Now on this, so now we're getting into colors, right? So on this we have, they did it in red and green. So the way I'm going to choose my colors from my fat quarter bundle is to make the determination, okay? Robin, thank you for joining our membership. I got a video coming out probably today or tomorrow for the private members. It's halfway, more than halfway edited. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose, okay, red is going to be the blue, or red will be red, and white, or the green will be the blue, right? And I'll choose my fabrics on my fat quarters based on that, okay? That's going to, no, not one block is 56. No, one block is not 56 inches, I don't think. Quilt center should measure 54 and a half is what it says. So this is the center. Yeah. So, but you'll have a beautiful quilt in the end, I think. Okay. So that'll be nice. I've been wanting to do a pretty red, white, and blue. And I went scrounging around for patriotic fabrics on Fat Quarter Shop and found this one. And it speaks to me. It's beautiful. I can't wait to get into it. So, again, the trick to not getting behind on quilting, just like anything, right, is to get yourself organized, get stuff cut, and eat that elephant one bite at a time. So I finished the buttons block this weekend for the quilted snowman. Let me show you that. It took me 3 times of a, let's see. Yes, slow poke, absolutely. You can use the coloring the Fat Quarter Shop used, but replace the light blue with navy, etc. Yes, I may do that too. Yeah. Okay. So there is, it's right there with the rest of the Prim blocks. Let me get you over there. Okay. I sat down 3 separate times for 20 minutes at a shot. I set my watch for 20 minutes and sat down and did some stitching and got that button block. You see it there in the center. Got it all finished. And that's how you do that. Okay. Don't get yourself overwhelmed. And then there's Prim so far, y'all. We are almost to the point of beginning to do borders on this, putting them together with the borders, or the sashing in between the blocks. I'm sorry. So pretty happy with that. Quilt wench resist. Don't tell her that, Carol. We're supportive here. Oh, y'all, I got to tell y'all, I got an email from Yasmita Magan, Yazzie Bags. She goes, what happened? She said, all of those big quilt bags sold out in 2 hours from Friday. She is getting ready to put some stuff on clearance too. So as soon as that is ready, I'll let you guys know. You're about to start Prim. You're late, but you work fast. Well, Shay, if you're home, just do it with me in the mornings, right? Carol says, we're trying not to buy anything this year and use our stash. Okay. Yay, you. I had my husband take me Friday over to Fiberworks, the quilt shop, because I didn't have any St. Patrick's fabric, and I wanted to see what kind of greens they had going on. I popped over there. Let me show you. Oh, let me get them. Let's see here. Where did they go? Here they are. I got to see Valerie. We went over on the motorcycle, and the quilt that's hanging next to Prim, I have no idea. That's a Villa Rosa Designs quilt, and I made it forever ago. I mean, probably 2015. That's one of the very first quilts I ever made. It doesn't have any diagonal seams in it, and I struggled with that. And that's a 2.5-inch strip jelly roll quilt. I struggled with that. It was hard for me to get those, but I look at it now and it's beautiful and I love it. It's one of my favorites. So Fiberworks has this, which I'll figure out how to use in the quilt, right? I kind of got that yellow to work with it. Okay, does that work? And then a couple of dark greens. So I got light and dark. We'll see. You have an older FOF 2170 using XP without internet. Do you have to hook to the internet to use Prim? I still use Creative Customizing. Barbara, I don't think so, because Prim is not a download. I wouldn't do that. You can order the USB and just pop the USB into your machine if that machine takes a USB. The only thing you would have to do is, if I don't know what memory chip, that external memory that machine uses, if you have to transfer it from the USB to that chip to get it on, I don't know. I don't know if that machine has a USB port or not. So also, I have these little panels I've had forever. They're Lucky Me by Shelly Komitsky for Henry Glass Fabrics. And might cut them up and use them. I don't know. This was the only St. Patrick's Day fabric that I had, and it's not good. So I had to go get something. But I think that top block that says March, it looks like it's kind of a quilt as you go. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the rainbow either. So I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm going to totally butcher this design. Not butcher, customize, right? I'm going to customize it. I want to look at it and enjoy looking at it. I want to do that. Oh my gosh, I got to show you. Is Quilting with Harriet online? If so, Harriet, or if you're watching on replay, I want to show you what I found in the backyard. How about that? A purple bobbin, an empty purple bobbin from Handy Quilter. She gave me these. And I was walking in the backyard. I got the eggs from the chickens. And I was looking where I was going. You don't want to step on a landmine out there, from the dogs. And I was looking where I was going, and this kind of glinted in the sun. And I was like, what is that doing there? I came in, I told Keith, I go, look what I found. That dog. She's something else. These are turning out gorgeous. And y'all, I'm not getting hardly any puckers. It looks great. You're doing the Kimberbell Mistletoe Mystery Block of the Month. That's right. We take creative license. That's exactly right, Sharon. Dottie took it. She sure did. I know. Harriet says that's where I keep mine. Oh, Harriet's the one who gave me those. She gave me a box of those purple bobbins. Thank you, my friend. She has a pair of beagles, and her youngest is a lot like Dottie, except Dottie doesn't make the same noise. Dottie guilty. Yep, absolutely. Dottie was guilty. So we've got all kinds of projects that are going to be coming up. And yesterday, my blogger, Maureen Mo, she texted me and she said, So could you do a schedule so we know what you're doing and when? And I just started laughing. I said, girl, I don't know what I'm doing from one day to the next. Yeah, cats will bat them around too, hot quilter, for sure. You know, this applique of the month from Me Time just showed up. I had no idea that I was going to be doing that. So you guys are, hey. You know, things just pop in. And then there's the squirrel factor where you see something online and you go, oh, ooh, that's pretty. And now you've got another project, right? So the things that I'm announcing on the channel, like we are doing the 2 quilts I'm doing this year so far. I've got 3 quilts this year that I'm working on, that I will be working on. Of course, the America 250. I'm still plugging along on the quilted snowman. And what else was I know it's in here. I'm working on Prairie Days for the members only channel. And I'm working on, I'm going to be doing, what's it called? Farmyard Friends, a Lori Holt Farmyard Friends. That's going to happen, and show and tell from Elizabeth Hartman. Okay. Now, y'all, I want to tell you something. Those of you with an XP operating system, there's a little tech talk for you. Okay. XP is no longer supported, and it is extremely susceptible to viruses and bots and all kinds of garbage. Okay, extremely susceptible. If you have an XP machine, I would tell you, don't even turn it on. Okay, it's not supported by Microsoft anymore. That operating system, they pulled them off the network at the military bases when they went to Windows. I think it was Windows 10 back then. Yes, and I'm going to be doing the KIMBERBELL sewing machines in April. Yes, I am, Cheryl. So here's the thing. There are no longer patches and security fixes for Windows XP. And you don't even have to be doing anything. It's just the fact that you turn your machine on and it's connected to the internet. Those viruses and ugly thing, malware, know when an XP machine comes online. And they look for those and they infect them. And you might do your home network a whole lot of trouble. If you have an XP machine, I know y'all aren't made out of money, but y'all computers are not that expensive now. You can get a laptop for $300 to $500, like an Asus. I have a bunch of them in my Amazon store, amazon.com/shop/power-tools-with-thread. Our hour's up already. And they're not that much, okay? Please, please, please do not use. It's like having an open sore on your arm and walking into a daycare and hoping you don't get some kind of infection. I'm telling you, please don't use XP machines. Throw it in the garbage. Put it in a black trash bag and put it out to the curb and it'll go away, okay? Please don't use them. Windows 7 still. Yeah, no internet connection on Windows 7. That's, yeah, Midge, that's okay. No internet connection. But you love my analogy. Yeah, please don't use old, outdated, unsupported computers, you guys. That's bad. It's bad. It's bad. It's terrible for your home network. Okay, you just got an HP from Costco for $4.50. Perfect. Awesome. All right, you guys, our hour is up. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I just love this. What's an XP, Maureen? It's an operating system that's no longer supported by Microsoft. Yeah, XP is an operating system. All right, so come on back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central. Y'all be sure to give the video a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Totally free, right? And I will see you guys tomorrow. Y'all go sew something.